Hello everyone, today we got to play Shadows of Amsterdam. So this game is actually a little bit of Mysterium and Detective. So I was actually...
And Codenames.
Codenames. I was super excited to play this game, but before we get into that, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can learn about a bunch of different games. Because they're fun. But before...
Some games are fun.
And that's why you watch the channel to find out which one those are.
Some of them are fun.
So tell us more about this game, Robert.
So, Shadows Amsterdam plays 2 to 8 people, so it's a pretty good-sized party game. BGG rating is 6.7. The designer is Matthew Aubert, I think is how you pronounce it. Art by M81 Studio. MSRP is $29.99. I think it's out of print, though, because it was crossed out on BGG. But I did see it on Amazon for $11.83. Geek Market had it for $15.
Okay, yeah. So, quality of pieces. So there are 2 miniature detectives that go on the board in the colors of the teams. They're actually really kind of nice. And then also you have 3 evidence markers for each team. See, aren't those nice?
Yeah, it looks like maybe a raccoon.
Yeah, they're little animal detectives, obviously, on a scooter. And then the evidence markers. Now, the evidence markers are just standees with these hexagons, so those aren't anything special. And then you have some cardboard tiles for collecting coppers, and if you get too many coppers, you get stopped. And then the actual board. So the board isn't cardboard. It is actually thin paper, so that part actually don't.
But it's 2-sided.
It is 2-sided to kind of play this game. My thing is when you put the board together, it's very loose and it shifts quite a bit. And I wish there was kind of a locking mechanism or something for this. You know, but that's where you have any type of piecemeal board. Sometimes it gets that way. And in this case, this does. So really, I mean, quality goes...
The minis are really the one thing that's really high quality.
I know, that's what I'm saying, like 6. Maybe?
Yeah, I think a 6 is good.
What do you think about a 6?
Probably 5.5 to 6. I don't like the tan hexagons that have really no purpose.
So those are barriers. So you can't go through them.
Yeah,
in the
but
game.
they could have put art on them. I mean, you could have put roadblocks or something on there.
Oh, that would have been
to
cool.
make it be just plain tan.
I'll tell you what, I'll get
really
some
tacky.
stickers and put like caution signs on them for you.
It really stands out when you look at the table.
Yeah. But yeah. So moving on to theme. So the theme is I don't want to say cute because the art's cute. I like the art. The art is actually really good in this game. The theme is basically there is a crime that took place and the police are trying to figure out the crime. But you don't work for the police. You actually work for a private detective agency and you've got to collect the clues faster than police and get it to your client. Now, I'm a little concerned that you're actually the villain here in the fact that you're trying to hide
your
the crime.
client is the villain. You're the middleman who's going out.
Like, so part of me is like, this is all like furry animals, but I'm trying to hide a crime because you're trying to collect the evidence. And if you've already collected evidence at a spot, your team did, then the other players can't get that evidence. So it's like, okay, so the evidence goes away and you're taking it to your client and then are they going to destroy it? I don't know. Like, supposedly it's to prove they're innocent, but is it really? So in that aspect, I thought that it was kind of...
It's all conspiracy.
It is, and it's totally my conspiracy in my head. But I actually liked the theme. When I heard it, when I read it, I was actually really excited about it. So I'm going to give theme a 7 on this. And the artwork's amazing. Maybe a 7.5 because the artwork, too.
Artwork is really good. I do like the artwork quite a bit. But that's about it for theme. I mean, other than that, it could be anything, really.
You're going to go collect evidence.
Well, right. But I mean, as far as the artwork itself, the artwork could be anything. This artwork does not lend to the specific gameplay, I don't think. It's great artwork. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it is.
Yeah, I mean...
But as far as the mechanics side of it, the art could be anything. I mean, it's very similar to Mysterium in regards of how you're giving clues, and so it could be Mysterium type artwork. Same idea. But thematically, it's okay.
So give it a score.
I think I'd give it a 6.5.
Okay, what about you?
Probably about a 7. I like the reference, like this is like the Shining's carpet here in this one. I like that, and it definitely feels like Mysterium and Codenames just were merged into this game. I mean, it's what it feels like.
Had an evil baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got elements of both, and I like both of those games, so it does go right up my alley. As far as, I like mysteries, I like the crime setting, I like the fact that they put the cute animals in there committing the crimes potentially, or at least being involved in the case. So yeah, I think it 7 is about where I'm at.
Okay. So moving on to rules, I actually read the rules for this one. I know, shock and amazement. Read the complete thing, and Randy didn't.
Yes, you are still on one of our videos. This is not another channel.
And Randy didn't have to go reread the rules either. That's saying something. But this game is actually pretty straightforward in the fact that it is a combination of Mysterium and Codenames. So basically, you have 2 different intelligence officers, and you're telling them a clue. So how do you give the clues in this game is pretty interesting. And the fact that it's very like Mysterium picking up the cards. The rules were very, very straightforward. I understood them very quickly. It was a good mesh, quick. The pictures were really nice. It was step-by-step, game setup, moving on to, how to play the game. The only thing is I actually could not find, once you use a card, what you were supposed to do with it. But my assumption is to put something over them. Because otherwise you'd have the same 10 cards continuously. And maybe I just didn't look hard enough for that. But I kept looking like more than...
No, here it's about replacing cards right here.
Oh, okay. Well, see, look at that. I missed it. This is what you get when Miranda reads the rules. But other than that, it was pretty straightforward. So I'm going to give them a 7.5.
Cards, and there's always 10.
Okay, 7.5.
So you did it right.
Then moving on to gameplay. So, like I said, there are 2 people that are giving clues, and they give clues based on, so they have all the same amount, they have 10 cards in front of them, and they can choose either 1 or 2 cards. If they choose 1 card, you have to guess a space that is 1 away that is relative to the card if you're on the detective side. If you do 2, the space that you're giving a clue to has to be 2 steps away. There is traffic rules in the fact that you can't go through these gray tiles to be able to do that, nor can you take a longer route to really only move 1 space. So, for example, in this case where the bunny's here, you can't go 1, 2 to do that. You have to go through the tile to continue on, not adjacent to you. So they might have used that word better to maybe say adjacent when describing the rules a little bit. But and so as you're trying to get your players to the right location, they pick up evidence. They try to avoid coppers. So in the fact that it's like similar to Codenames, in the fact that there are basically black tiles.
But how do you know what's what?
On these little boards.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vanna.
So, and so each player has to, so the 2 guess givers, there's a number here at the top and a symbol. So there's like a 1 circle, 1 square, 1 star. So you may pick the number. So there's quite a few of them that you can choose from. 1 to 6 is the easiest routes, which is the ones we did. And then you say, okay, I'm going to do 1 star in the corner. And each player takes turns each round to put the appropriate thing up above so they can kind of decide that. And that's, we didn't get to do that. I just kind of set it up beforehand. But there is strategy in the fact that, okay, do I want my board like this? Are the tiles similar? Are they enough apart that, I can get this pretty straightforward? Or, oh, hey, I don't want my check mark to be, people eating at a diner. There's 3 of them right here. Okay, let me move this around. So I thought that was actually a pretty interesting component for the intelligence officer. And
each team has a different card.
Yeah, but some of the spots, they share evidence. Some of them share coppers. And so if you land on a copper, you get their token and you put it on here. Once you get to 3 coppers, the game ends. The other team wins that round. You do 3 rounds. And so the person who wins the most rounds gets that. So, yeah. It sounded very convoluted when I just described it, but it's really... Here's the thing, though. Because there's 2 roles, and that's the thing to keep in mind when playing this game. If you have someone that is more familiar with like Mysterium and stuff like that, you definitely want them to put them on the clue side. And for those that aren't as familiar, you definitely want to put them on the detective side. Because there is some housekeeping as a detective that there not necessarily is as a...
I think it's a pretty straightforward game. I honestly think just about anybody would be able to pick up either side of the roles. Because even with the cards, you get a little wooden token that helps you track and remember where you're located on the map, so then you can remember how to get them to where to go. Because the goal is to collect your 3, then get to a check mark, and then get that. Then you turn in your evidence, and yay, you win the game.
Yeah.
And so it's, I think it's pretty straightforward. I think just about even. I'd say light to medium. I wouldn't.
Well, I think it's definitely light for the detectives.
Yeah.
But for the guest giver, I would say light to medium for the person giving the.
But just
clues.
like Mysterium, just like Dick said, it's very subjective. So if you're on a team that you know each other really well, you're probably at a distinct advantage.
Unless it's me and Randy.
Other than that, you're probably at an advantage versus playing with the people who don't know each other at all.
Yeah, I mean, the reality, yeah. So the fact is, you can pick a person giving a speech and the person not pick the person that's giving a speech on the board.
Because there were other options potentially that were better suited to the clues that were given.
Right. The person giving a speech and the person giving the speech would not be the same. That couldn't have been the clue.
My team won.
I'm just saying,
my
there were other
won,
options
so
out there.
Now you're saying the team that didn't win.
That's because dysfunction.
It's so funny, though, when Randy gives the clues, I'm pretty much spot on all the time. But when I give clues, Randy's like, I don't know what she's talking about.
So what is that thing?
Yeah, what does that say?
That I know you. And you can't guess my mind?
No, because there's chaos and disorder there.
Right.
I'm going to step out.
But the reality is that I actually really liked this game, and so did the couple that
yeah, Kevin and Lindy.
Yeah, they played it with us. Lindy absolutely loved it. I was super excited to play it. I had a lot of fun. I always have a lot of fun being the ghost in Mysterium in this as well. So I love this kind of party game. These are my kind of party games. I don't like party games generally speaking, but this is definitely one I like.
I think the game's kind of meh myself. I thought it was a little too light. I like Mysterium better because there is a little bit more of a challenge to that game, whereas this one is a little bit lighter. So I didn't care for it as much, and because it's got so much in common with Codenames and Mysterium, and I'm comparing with that, and I like those 2 games so well. This doesn't meet that those 2 games.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't hate it. I'll certainly play it if people want to play it as far as the party game goes. But this is not the party game I'm going to pick. I'd pick just one.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that this is better than Mysterium. Don't mistake me.
Oh, I know. I know that.
And,
I'm just saying that with this type of game, it's too light for me to really sink my teeth in.
And now I will say I like this better than Codenames.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I like Mysterium significantly more than Codenames. And this one's kind of in the middle, so it's kind of like, it's getting me where I want to go.
Okay.
But I've never been a word game person.
Right. So as far as gameplay goes, honestly, I'd rather play Catan. Catans are 5, so I'm giving this a 5.
What about you?
Well, I gave Codenames and Mysterium both, I believe, 10s in their category. This is not as good as either of them, in my opinion.
No, it's not.
By any means. Well, you just said it was better than Codenames.
Well, I mean, it is better than Codenames, but...
I don't think so. I like it, but I don't think it's that, even close to either one of those. Right. I'm probably more of a 6.5 is where I'm at with it.
Mm-hmm. I'm at a 7.5. I actually really, really enjoyed it. It scratches a certain itch. I mean, Mysterium is like
They make ointments for that too.
You're about to need an ornament.
No, I mean, I think it is fun. It's the best 2 out of 3 thing. I don't know if I like that as well. I mean, I like to play a game and win or lose and move on. The fact that it's short, they made it a best 2 out of 3, which kind of makes me feel like it was kind of forced. The board, those tan areas really bother me when I look at the board. So I think there's things like that could have been done better in this game to make it more solid. But I still like the whole. I mean, I love Mysterium. I like the whole hiding, giving clues. One person can't talk and they have to communicate things, and this has that. I don't think it does it as effectively as Mysterium, but it has it.
Well, this doesn't require nearly the setup that Mysterium does either.
I could see this being a good game to bring to a party of non-gamers.
Yeah, it's a light portable game. Again, this is another one that's easy to throw into a bag and carry. So again, if Mysterium is not, if you're traveling.
So if they like this game, then you would go up to the next level with Mysterium.
Yeah.
So.
Mysterium Park maybe. And
then,
and then keep going. And that is something we haven't talked about. Compare this to Mysterium Park.
I think Mysterium Park is slightly better in the sense that it's closer to Mysterium.
And it's got a little bit more meat to it too.
The thing is the Codenames piece of it felt again also kind of forced in. It was you had to have destinations.
You kept adding Codenames. I don't know where.
These are dead ringer for
Codenames. Just like
I mean, this is straight up
telling you where you need to go, and so
I thought the copper thing was not done enough in the game. It was basically you have to land on those cop spaces 3 times, and the odds of that happening, in Codenames you land on it once and you're done.
Right.
Well, but here's the thing though. I had to really think about choices that I ended up giving you because where my thing was located, it had so many around it that were so similar. Yeah. I actually took you around the board, which what made us lost at the game. Well, you started going there anyway, so it was like, okay. But because I had to be really choosy on what I gave you because there were like 3 coppers all right here, and you had to get here, and I was just like, okay, how am I going to do this? And then you kept going the wrong direction. I said, well, we're halfway there now. Like, I might as well keep you going.
Well, I think if you just had 1 cop and you're done, you lose it, would have been better because what's the penalty of getting 1 cop? Nothing. You just stop your turn. And it's like you could just
but I think the game would end too much. If you only had 1 copper, you got to realize we're kind of experienced in this, and I see for newbies that would get very frustrating. Oh crap, the game ended, and I just picked the wrong one.
It just seems like there should be more of a penalty for
either that or maybe a variant where once you get pretty good at it, or you got a group of seasoned players, maybe you could adjust the difficulty by. Either 1 strike you're out or 2 strikes you're out, something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
or maybe 1 strike you lose a turn.
Right, to say
something like that.
To say that you went out of your way to avoid the cops, you may have wasted more time than just going and hitting a cop and going to the next space you needed. That's what I think there really needs to be a penalty there. Otherwise, just plow through and
or you lose all the evidence that you collected. That would have been interesting if you met with a copper. So I think there's things that they could have done to up this up a little bit. I agree with that. And the fact is the obstacles were only in 3 locations where I feel like if maybe, and only in the center of the board where if you maybe had moved them.
If it's more random.
Well, but the problem with that is if you had more obstacles, you're going to have less cards, unless you increase the size of the board tremendously. So that makes it easier to pick the ones that you're going to.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. So that makes sense. And I know why they have it in the center, because so you can't go straight across. You have to kind of go around. That makes sense. All right. Well, I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
With
try it
Shadows.
I suggest try it out. See what you think.
Yeah, I really think it depends on if this is your cup of tea or not.
Yeah.
I mean, but as far as a light game to teach some non-gamers, this is a good one. Mm-hmm. So, all right, guys. Well, we thank you. Bye.